The Campbell family, excited for a fresh start, moved into 13 Elm Street. John, the father, loved the spacious rooms and antique charm. Mary, his wife, found solace in the house's history. Their children, 10-year-old Billy and 8-year-old Lily, saw a grand adventure in every corner. But the house held secrets, dark, sinister secrets. From the first night, a chill settled over them, a feeling that they were not alone. The air grew heavy, a presence lingered in the shadows. Whispers seemed to emanate from the walls, carrying tales of past tragedies. The family dismissed it as nerves, the natural anxieties of settling into a new home. But as days turned into nights, their unease grew into something more sinister, something that sent shivers down their spines. Strange occurrences began subtly. Footsteps echoed in the dead of night. Doors creaked open, seemingly on their own. Lily's toys would move mysteriously, found in different rooms, as if placed by unseen hands. John, a skeptic by nature, tried to rationalize the events. He blamed drafts for the opening doors, settling floorboards for the footsteps, but Mary couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Cold spots permeated the house, sudden drops in temperature that defied explanation. The children, sensitive to the unseen, began to have nightmares, their dreams filled with shadowy figures and disembodied voices calling their names. The once welcoming house was transforming into a prison of fear. As weeks passed, the paranormal activity intensified. Shadows danced in the periphery of their vision, vanishing when confronted. Objects disappeared only to reappear in impossible locations. One evening, while having dinner, a heavy silver candlestick flew across the room, shattering against the wall behind John's head. The family sat in stunned silence, the reality of their situation sinking in. This was no longer just strange noises and cold spots. This was a malevolent entity, toying with them, asserting its dominance over their lives. Fear became a constant companion, tainting every moment. They tried to ignore it, to pretend that everything was normal. But the house had other plans. It was determined to make them see, to make them believe. The entity seemed to draw power from the midnight hour, as if the darkness itself was its ally, feeding its malevolent presence. As the clock struck 12, a palpable darkness would descend upon the house, enveloping every corner and crevice in an unsettling shroud. One night, Mary awoke to the sound of a woman sobbing, a heart-wrenching cry that seemed to pierce through the silence of the night. The voice was filled with despair, echoing through the hallway, bouncing off the walls and creating an eerie symphony of sorrow. She followed the sound to Lily's room, where she found her daughter sitting up in bed, eyes wide with terror, clutching her blanket tightly. Lily claimed to have seen a woman in a white gown, her face pale and gaunt, tears streaming down her cheeks, her presence both haunting and sorrowful. The woman had reached out to Lily, her voice a mournful whisper, begging for help, her ethereal hand trembling as it extended towards the frightened child. John, awakened by his daughter's screams, found Mary comforting Lily, her arms wrapped protectively around their trembling child. He dismissed it as a nightmare, but deep down, he couldn't shake the feeling of dread, a gnawing sensation that something sinister lurked within their home. He knew something was terribly wrong, an unspoken fear that gripped his heart and refused to let go, leaving him in a state of constant unease. Section 5. Fleeing the nightmare, a desperate escape. The house at 13 Elm Street had always been shrouded in mystery and fear. Its dark silhouette loomed ominously against the night sky, a silent witness to countless tales of terror. The final straw came when Billy went missing. John and Mary, his parents, were frantic, their hearts pounding with dread as they searched every corner of the house. The air was thick with tension, every shadow a potential threat. They found him in the attic, staring blankly at the wall, muttering to himself. The attic, a place they rarely ventured, was now the epicenter of their worst fears. Billy's eyes were vacant, his voice a mere whisper in the oppressive silence. When they questioned him, he spoke of a man in a torn suit, his eyes glowing red in the darkness. Billy's description was chilling. his words painting a vivid picture of the malevolent presence that haunted their home. The man had told Billy that they would all be joining him soon. This ominous message sent shivers down their spines, the threat hanging over them like a dark cloud. That night, John and Mary made a decision. They couldn't risk their family's safety any longer. The house, once a place of refuge, had become a prison of fear. They couldn't stay in that house any longer. With hearts racing, they began packing their belongings, their movements hurried and frantic. Every creak of the floorboards, every gust of wind outside heightened their sense of urgency. Packing their belongings frantically, they piled into the car, leaving behind most of their possessions. The rain poured down, adding to the chaos of their escape. They didn't care about the material things. Their only concern was getting away. As they drove away, they could see a figure standing in the upstairs window, watching them go. The sight sent a chill down their spines, a final reminder of the horror they were leaving behind. It was the woman in the white gown, her face etched with a look of pure malice. They didn't look back, they didn't speak. The silence in the car was heavy, each of them lost in their own thoughts, the fear still palpable. They just drove, desperate to put as much distance between themselves and 13 Elm Street as possible. The road ahead was long and uncertain, but they knew one thing for sure: they would never return to that house of horrors. Section 6. The Scars We Carry, Trauma in the Aftermath. The experience left the Campbell family deeply scarred. They moved into a new house, but the memories of 13 Elm Street continued to haunt them. Lily refused to sleep alone, terrified that the woman in white would return. Billy became withdrawn, his once bright eyes now clouded with fear. John and Mary tried to rebuild their lives, but the trauma of their ordeal lingered. They sought therapy, hoping to find some semblance of peace. But the terror they had experienced was not easily forgotten. The house had taken something from them, something precious and irreplaceable. Their innocence, their sense of security, their belief in the safety of their own home. Section 7. 13. Elm Street, a beacon for the paranormal. Word of the Campbell family's experience spread through the small town. 13 Elm Street, once a symbol of stately elegance, became synonymous with fear and dread. Stories circulated about the house's dark history, whispers of tragic deaths and restless spirits. Some dismissed the tales as folklore, the product of overactive imaginations. But others, drawn to the unknown, saw 13 Elm Street as a beacon. Paranormal investigators flocked to the house, eager to document the strange occurrences. Psychics and mediums conducted seances, attempting to communicate with the spirits that resided within its walls. But the house remained a mystery, its secrets buried deep within its foundations. Section 8. The unanswered questions, mysteries remain. Who were the entities that haunted 13 Elm Street? What was their connection to the house? These questions lingered, unanswered, adding to the mystique surrounding the property. Some speculated that the house was built on an ancient burial ground, a gateway between the world of the living and the realm of the dead. Others believed that the spirits were drawn to the house because of the tragic events that had transpired within its walls. Whatever the reason, 13 Elm Street remained a place of fear, a testament to the power of the unknown. The Campbell family's experience served as a chilling reminder that some doors are best left unopened, some secrets are better left undiscovered. Section 9. A warning to the curious. Some doors should stay closed. The tale of 13 Elm Street stands as a warning to those who are drawn to the shadows, to the mysteries that lie hidden in the dark corners of our world, a warning to those who seek out the darkness, who delve into the mysteries of the unknown. For in the pursuit of the unknown, one may uncover truths that are better left undiscovered. For sometimes the answers we seek come at a terrible price. The price of our sanity, our peace, and sometimes even our lives. The spirits of the past are not to be trifled with. They linger, bound by their unfinished business, their unresolved pain. Their anger, their sorrow, Their desperate need for recognition can have devastating consequences. They reach out from the shadows, seeking to be heard, to be seen. So, if you find yourself drawn to a place like 13 Elm Street, a place where the veil between worlds is thin, where the boundary between the living and the dead is fragile, where the air is thick with the weight of unseen presences, turn back. Do not let curiosity lead you down a path from which there may be no return. For some doors are meant to stay closed, some secrets are best left buried. The past holds its own power, and some mysteries are too dangerous to uncover. For the horrors that lie beyond may be more than you can bear. Heed this warning and let the doors of 13 Elm Street remain forever closed.